What's up, everybody? Here we are, first episode of Wisconsin versus the Midwest. You already know what this is going to be about. The rest of the Midwest already has legal and medical cannabis, or I should reword that, medical and legal cannabis. And Wisconsin sitting here with no medical. Um, they're putting GPSs on people's vehicles for going to the dispensaries in Michigan, Illinois, Minnesota, which they did it to me. And on top of that, now they're using the flock cameras too to read license plates, pull people over, throw them in jail. And I think that's a little bit absurd, especially one considering the hemp market here in Wisconsin. We have a lot of smoke shops that sell THCA, which is the same exact thing that Michigan, Minnesota, and Illinois are selling. The only difference is those are held to a higher standard, more regulations, safer to consume. And honestly, we want to protect the consumers. Something happens, you get sick, you end up in the hospital. You want to be able to have some sort of lawsuit, get paid. And these companies, I'm sure they're insured, and I'm sure that they go through a lot of rigorous lab testing to make sure that the products are safe for the consumers to consume. Here in Wisconsin, I don't really quite understand the issue. A lot of the money that people are spending in these other states could be spent right here in Wisconsin, but it's not. Obviously, when they go to the hemp markets or the hemp stores, the smoke shops, whatever you want to call them, yeah, they're getting their 5.5% tax here in Wisconsin. But you go to these other states and the cannabis market is taxed higher. There is a specific marijuana tax, and the state could make a lot more money, a lot more tax revenue if it did the same thing. Like Michigan, for example, their taxes with marijuana is 16.6%. That's 11.1% more tax revenue that Wisconsin could make. And I see that as a very positive thing. Sure, the consumers have to spend a little bit more for the products, but they're safer and you're protected. Um, on top of that, charging people, criminalizing people, throwing them in jail for the products that are safer to consume doesn't really make sense. If somebody wants to ensure that they're buying a safe product, if they want to put their health first, they shouldn't be punished for that. They should be rewarded. That's smart. That's good thinking. You want to live a longer, healthier life. You want your quality of life to stay of a high quality, or you want it to improve. I don't really see how what Wisconsin is doing is helping anybody here. Um, for example, putting me on 88 days of ankle monitor starting September 1st and 5 years probation because I wanted to make sure that me and everybody here was getting safe, regulated products is not beneficial. If Wisconsin wants to make more money, which I don't know if that's their goal, if they want their citizens to be healthier and happier and have a higher quality of life, I don't know if that's their goal, but it should be. It's it's baffling, and it's quite embarrassing, to be honest. Being the laughing stock of the Midwest currently doesn't feel good. Um, my goal is to, as soon as I'm done with the ankle monitor, transfer my probation to Michigan, move there, and be done with this shithole state and the discrimination that I have lived through over the last 13, 14 years of my life. It's pathetic, quite honestly. Wisconsin needs to hold itself accountable. Wisconsin needs to recognize the modern day science, and it needs to take a look at the surrounding states here in the Midwest and how they operate. They don't seem to have an issue with any of these people buying cannabis, consuming cannabis. Um, on top of that, I ain't asking for much. I understand if you don't want to make cannabis legal here for adults 21 and older. They already banned flavored vapes here last month, and now we can't even get those without ordering them online, which once again takes money away from our local businesses and the state of Wisconsin, because now that money is traveling outside of the state through the internet, and then the products get shipped here. It's impractical. It's illogical, it's unethical, and it's unconstitutional. First and foremost, Wisconsin needs to do some work. There's a lot of things where medicinal cannabis will benefit people. The people that are going to use the medical cannabis are going to be people who are prescribed the medical cannabis from their primary doctors, psychiatrists, etc. I don't think those people are going to use it irresponsibly. I really don't. And if somebody wants to consume cannabis or hemp without a medical prescription, they just go to the smoke shop, right? So there's individuals here, including myself, that have a better quality of life when we have access to these safe products. Disabling our access or not even having that access, it's unacceptable. It's 2026. Colorado and Washington have been legal since 2012. That's 14 years ago. Work needs to be done. There's no excuses. The people that are running this state, they're making poor decisions. And if they can't come to an agreement, if they can't at least all agree that, okay, we need to make cannabis at least medically available for our citizens so that those who need it can have safe access to it without breaking the law, without questioning whether or not that product is safe to consume, without questioning whether or not if something happens to them from those products, they can take that to court and get some, reimbursement, get some restitution. There's no excuse. I don't know how many times I have to say that, but you think that alcohol will be an issue? There's alcohol sold in all 50 states. And 40 of those states have medical access to cannabis, maybe more. I've lost track. There's so many. There's at least 25 legal states for adults recreationally, 21 and older, that can buy and consume the products. Most of us should be able to take care of ourselves. We're grown-ass men and women. If you think you need to be babysat, live in a state that doesn't allow you to make these decisions. This is one of them. But if you think you're able to take good care of yourself without being babysat, then those other 40 states or those other 25 states, legal, medical, those are the ones for you and for me. If Wisconsin wants to keep people like me here contributing to its communities, being an asset to the society, it's going to have to make a change, and it's going to have to make that change rather quickly, because by the end of the year, I plan on getting out of here. And I know a lot of other people, especially at this point, they're fed up. They're absolutely fed up. They've had it. It's over. I don't know if this has to do with population control. I don't know if this has to do with where the money is going, into whose pockets or whatever. It's unacceptable. I don't care whether or not the Tavern League takes a hit. I don't care whether or not you think more people are going to be driving under the influence on the road. They're going to do it anyway. And if they're going to do it anyway, and if they're going to do it, they should be punished for it. We're adults. You already know if you're going to make a responsible decision, getting behind the wheel when you're under the influence of a substance or a drug or whatever it may be, it's a poor choice. That should be pretty clear. That's common sense. I know. Common sense is very uncommon in this day and age. But it's not hard to make the right choice. It's really not. So Wisconsin needs to make the right choice. We can take care of ourselves. If you think we need to be babysat 24/7, you're wrong. There's individuals that do, but they'll make those poor decisions and they'll get charged and end up in jail in doing so. So let the law play out. Let the law do its job. Let the law be enforced. But to this extent where we can't even get our medical prescription here, that's not fair. It's simply not fair. It's unethical. It's unconstitutional. And entrapping our citizens for them going to Michigan. Mind you, there's so many billboards advertising these Michigan dispensaries on Wisconsin state highways. It's almost like they want us to criminalize ourselves. They want us to be in jail. They want us to lose our freedom. Why? I have to ask time and time again, why? What is your reasoning for lowering the potential quality of life for the people here in Wisconsin? I don't know any reason why that's acceptable. There will never be a reason why that's acceptable. So, yeah, the Midwest is making a lot of money, a lot of revenue from legal cannabis sales, both recreational and medicinal. Wisconsin should be getting some of that at least from medical access. I'm okay if recreational doesn't happen here. I understand there's a lot of irresponsible people in Wisconsin, but there's irresponsible people in all 50 states in America. And there's 25 of them that are recreationally legal. And those people that make poor decisions, they get punished for it. Now, I made a poor decision by going to Michigan and not just getting the products for myself. I was a little bit too selfless in doing, buying products for more than just myself. But I didn't want to see those people taking that risk. I didn't want to see, 100 people drug trafficking. I'd rather have it just be one so that they don't have to. There's also individuals that are elderly. There's individuals that are epileptic. They can't drive. They can't get a license, or, they've lost it because they can't see very good anymore. Too much of a danger, potentially having a seizure on the road behind the wheel that puts other people's lives at risk. How are they supposed to get access to these medicinal products that are regulated to a higher standard? People like myself, we hold ourselves to a certain standard. And I like to think of myself as being held. I hold myself to a very high standard. I take good care of myself. I take good care of my family. I took good care of my friends when I had them. But because of the way Wisconsin has gone about this whole cannabis stuff, it's not right. I don't really have any friends locally anymore. Maybe one or two. I have my coworkers. I have the people that come to the place where I work, and yeah, I'm acquaintances, sure, but I can't even see myself spending time with any of these people anymore because you know it's just not worth it. I would rather move and establish those types of relationships elsewhere where I feel comfortable in doing so, and we can have a good time. We can, you know, roll up a couple joints, go for a walk, enjoy the nice weather. If it's the winter, well then sweet. I'll come over, hang out, we can watch some wrestling, we can watch some sports, whatever it may be, shoot the shit and enjoy some cannabis. I don't like drinking. I'm not a big fan of alcohol. It doesn't taste very good. It doesn't make me feel productive. It doesn't make me feel better. It actually makes me feel worse. It's a depressant. It's a neurodegenerative, meaning it kills your brain cells when you consume large amounts of it. I'm good with a beer too. That's fine. A beer with a meal, chicken wings and beer, pizza and beer. It goes great together. Absolutely. But it's not my thing, and to each their own. And I would like in Wisconsin, the adults, the citizens here to be able to have the choice, to each their own. I think having a tool in the toolbox and not needing it is so much better than needing a tool and not having it in the toolbox. That's a bottleneck. There's problems that could be solved here, but we don't have the tool to fix it. I have PTSD. I've been mugged and lost an eye. I've been shot by a 30-year convicted murderer that was released from prison in 2015. Why? How does that benefit society? Now I can't medicate myself. I can't do anything to cope, to continue to live my life of a high quality. I have to find these alternatives. I have to navigate. I have to do research. It shouldn't be that difficult. Some people just aren't able to do those things. Taking away our freedoms, taking away our ability to make these choices, it's not okay. And these changes need to be made sooner than later. If you want people to be happy and healthy, you should let them make the choices. You should let them use the tools that they need to do so. And with that being said, guys, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think about this place. Let me know if you've already left. Let me know if you plan on leaving. Voice your opinion. I've already called all of our representatives. I've told them countless times, time and time again, hey, listen, you're making a big mistake. You have a lot of people here that are going to get old, and they're not going to have any young people to take care of them because the young people are leaving. They don't want to live here. This isn't America. This place doesn't operate like America. This is an American state. We are a part of America, but it doesn't operate like one. There's no ballot initiatives. I can't gather signatures to put something on the ballot so that we can vote. We have to convince our representatives. I think that's wrong. That's not American. That's like communism. So we need to make changes here, guys. It's time.